Good to have you on Planetterrian Daily, episode 79. It's June 4th, 2026. Let's get into today's research and health developments. Physical fitness correlates with brain health in young adults, with effects varying by sex. A study examined links between fitness measures and brain structure in younger adults. Effects differed between males and females. The finding adds to evidence that aerobic capacity influences neural metrics early in life. No specific sample size or p-values appear in the summary. Future work may clarify which fitness components drive the sex-specific patterns, from brain health shaped by daily behavior to another early life factor that may flag later disease risk. Onset age of puberty in boys remains far less studied than in girls. Early or late timing could flag elevated long-term disease risks. Data gaps stem from historical research focus on female development. The report calls for expanded longitudinal tracking in males. Such data could improve risk stratification models. From developmental timing in humans to developmental flexibility observed in another long-lived species. DNA analysis of more than 600 belugas in Alaska's Bristol Bay spanned 13 years. Both males and females produce offspring with multiple partners. The flexible system contrasts with more rigid mating patterns in some other mammals. Researchers suggest this behavior may aid genetic diversity. Continued monitoring could reveal how the pattern affects population resilience. From genetic diversity in wild populations to how tumors sometimes lose a common escape route yet gain a different vulnerability, downregulation of MHCI normally lets tumors evade killer T cells. The same change increases susceptibility to helper CD4 plus T cells. The study overturns the assumption that MHCI loss is an unmitigated escape route. Experiments showed the shift redirects immune attack rather than blocking it entirely. Follow-up work will test whether this vulnerability can be exploited therapeutically. The Nature Medicine trial on MHCI loss reveals that tumors downregulating this molecule become susceptible to CD4 plus helper T cells instead of fully evading immunity. This mechanism could open routes for therapies that deliberately exploit the shift rather than trying to restore MHCI. The finding moves the field from viewing immune escape as binary toward mapping redirected vulnerabilities. What specific tumor types show the strongest CD4 plus response after MHCI downregulation? 7 participants with chronic hemiparesis underwent cervical epidural stimulation. Strength, motor function, and spasticity all showed measurable gains. The feasibility trial reported no major safety issues. Stimulation parameters were adjusted individually. Larger controlled studies are needed to confirm the magnitude and persistence of benefit. From restoring motor function to supporting emotional regulation in youth through a different kind of external aid. A randomized trial tested the Purble robot alongside standard safety planning. Participants showed lower scores on the difficulties in emotion regulation scale and fewer depressive symptoms. The device provides tactile interaction during moments of distress. The study focused on youth at elevated self-harm risk. Replication in broader populations is planned. From technology-assisted behavioral support to cognitive flexibility demonstrated by another primate species. Chimpanzees at Leipzig Zoo navigated virtual forests using touchscreen controls. The tasks mirror foraging strategies observed in the wild. 2 decades of research at the site have mapped cognition, cooperation, and curiosity. Results highlight continuity between captive and natural behaviors. Ongoing studies track how these skills develop across individuals, from primate cognition to conservation needs of another wide-ranging mammal. Camera trap and spatial modeling data show the leopard uses a wide prey base. Recovering forest patches prove as important as formal reserves. The work was conducted on densely populated Java. Findings suggest conservation must extend beyond protected area boundaries. Habitat connectivity efforts are now being prioritized. From habitat connectivity to how extreme framing can shift attitudes on divisive topics. The study tested paradoxical thinking interventions. Presenting extreme arguments in favor of a topic lowered overall endorsement. The effect emerged across multiple contentious issues. Sample details and exact effect sizes are not reported in the summary. Researchers plan to examine boundary conditions for the approach. Close with a science deep dive on tumor immunology before the episode wrap. You've probably heard that cancer cells shutting down MHC-I molecules simply hide from the immune system. In reality, that same step can expose them to a separate arm of immunity. Right now, as your body's T cells patrol tissues, MHC-I levels on any given cell determine which immune subset can recognize it. When MHC-I drops, killer CD8 plus T cells lose their primary signal, yet CD4 plus helper T cells gain an opening through alternative antigen presentation routes. CD4 plus T cells can comprise up to 60 to 70% of the T cell pool in some tumor microenvironments. The practical takeaway is to watch for trials that combine MHC-I lowering agents with CD4 plus boosting strategies, rather than assuming MHC-I restoration is always the goal. Next time, we'll be watching for longer-term follow-up data from the cervical epidural stimulation trial and any updates on male puberty timing cohorts. That's Planetterrian Daily for today. If you enjoyed this, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. And before you go, this show is part of the NERA Network, a family of daily podcasts covering tech, science, markets, and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, give Modern Investing Techniques a listen. Modern strategies for Canadian and U.S. investors. You can explore the whole lineup at neuranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.